With this flurry of moves from the Patriots over the last 24 hours, we've got to bring in our expert, Michael Hurley of CBSBoston.com, to break it all down. So, Mike, welcome. Good to see you.
You as well. We use the term expert lightly around here, but thank you.
And let's get right to all of this. What do you make of the biggest free agent signings by the Patriots so far?
Yeah, so obviously the quarterback is going to be number one whenever you talk about a football team, and it's not flashy or exciting to go out and get Jacoby Brissett. He's a guy who, we've become accustomed to seeing mediocre quarterback play around here, sadly, over the past few years. I think he's more or less continuing that a little bit to an extent. So he's not a flashy player, but it's a necessary player. We know they wanted to move on from Mac Jones. And then I think Mike Onwenu, again, is in that same line of, man, this is not exciting, but it's important and it's necessary because without an offensive line, you really can't run an offense. So he's a guy that's played three positions on the offensive line really well. And if he can play tackle and solidify one half, then they can go and get another tackle on the other side. And they'll be, building blocks toward the future. Whereas Brissett, I think we know they're going to draft a quarterback. So he's more there to bridge the gap until that young quarterback is ready.
Yeah, but good to have some solid components here to work with. The Pats did some subtraction too, as I mentioned. So why do you think Mac Jones and Devonte Parker are heading out the door? And the Pats still have a lot of cap space to work with and a lot of needs. What more can they do in free agency after that?
Well, on the Mac Jones thing, I think it's interesting because you have to consider this isn't an outside coach coming in and kind of looking at it saying, Mac didn't have a good setup. We can try this, try that. Gerard Mayo knows the locker room. He knows especially the defensive players. And I think a lot of guys on that defense who were playing all out last year, running a top 10 defense, I think they really lost faith in Mac Jones, both as a competitor, as a teammate. I think the attitude has to come in. And I think that applies to Devonte Parker as well. He had that drop in the loss to the Raiders last year and failed to take accountability for it, kind of just asked reporters what they saw. And I wonder if behind the scenes he also didn't take accountability and didn't have the best approach. So you can understand that there's a culture situation. And on the flip side of that, they re-signed Kendrick Bourne, a guy who has worked hard, a guy who didn't cause a scene when he was really wrongfully benched in 2022. So I think there's elements of Gerard Mayo knowing which players do and don't have the faith of the rest of their team. So I think that's some of the decisions you're seeing there. As for what else they need, for as good as Kendrick Bourne may be, we know he's not a number one. Calvin Ridley is still out there, also not a number one, but they just need some talented pass catchers, guys that you can put the ball in their hands and flip the field, change games. Every Sunday, Paula, you'll watch the Patriots, trudging down the field, trying to gain 10 yards, and they'll cut to another game where some superstar receiver is making a spinning catch in the back of the end zone over defenders, and it's 28-7, and you're just thinking other teams can do it. So the Patriots need to find guys like that, whether that's in trades. Maybe they find a draft pick somewhere in there that impacts right away, but the free agent class is a little bit muted and understated, so they're going to have to get creative there.
They're out there, and it is a show after all. You need some of those,
entertain us.
Those spinning moves. All right, Michael Hurley, our expert. We appreciate it. Thanks so much.